Hi guys, welcome back to another exciting Tech Talk. It's Christmas time here, it's December, and I'll tell you what, Florida is just getting nice and cold. On the way down to the studio today, it was nice and 76 degrees, almost sweater weather. So, welcome back everybody. I'm Cameron Capoletta from ACT Computers here in Vero Beach, Florida. You can always give us a call if you have any questions, 772-567-7888. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas-themed things, such as gifts that might be appropriate for loved ones, like what the difference between quality and price might be when you're given these gifts. In addition, we're going to be talking about safety and security for computers and devices. You guys know me, I'm the cybersecurity guy, so I'm going to make sure you're on your P's and Q's for that. So we have some good news coming out of the cybersecurity home front. A lot of the ads where it would pop up your entire window and say that you've been hijacked, call this number. Those are going away. Microsoft and Google have been cracking down on those a lot. We're seeing a lot less of those. However, we are seeing the rise of email scams. In general, more of like viruses are attached, but they call it an invoice or something along those lines. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is the importance of mail security. A lot of elder and senior folks, the wiser generation is what I call them. They have wisdom in certain things that we don't have. They will be sending and receiving a lot of emails this holiday. So as they're sending these to their loved ones and to their family members, they're expecting things to come back. Scammers have gotten really good at spoofing email addresses and also taking advantage of these times of year. So some important things about that, we want to talk about how to recognize a phishing email. And not like a phishing email, but an email that an attacker might use to gather information about you, your family, your financials, or your loved ones. A lot of times, these can be sent as if they were the original sender, however, they were not. They are spoofed. So if in this holiday season you get emails from friends or families or business associates with invoices that don't make sense or that you don't recognize, do yourself and them a favor. Call them up and let them know about the email. That way you can validate that it's supposed to have gone through and that they're aware of it. If they are not aware of it, you can be very helpful to them by informing them of it. Then they can change their password and both of you guys are for the better. That's in the instance that their email account has been compromised. Due to the very nature of how email is designed to be sent and flow freely across the internet, it allows for things like spoofing of certain parts of the email. So it may not have actually come from your friend's account or your company that you're used to dealing with, but it will appear as that. So most of these things will go into your junk mail. Google and Microsoft are really, really good about taking care of suspicious emails. If it says it's from Bob and Kathy at gmail.com, but the real sender is hacker229 at MSN, it's going to know there's not something right there. However, I check my junk mail. I don't know about you guys. Many times when I've been in someone's home, they show me their junk mail and have questions about it. This is because of the stringency and the security that has been placed on junk mail to prevent garbage messages from going to your inbox. So these filters are often overly strong and can send emails from websites that you care about to your junk mail. So we do have these issues coming up when people are in their junk mail for a legitimate reason and seeing what may be spoofed emails, and it can be confusing. At the end of the day, if you get an email from someone and you don't understand it, or they're asking for things that don't make sense, call them. Establish direct contact. Even if they say it's a fire, it's an emergency, it has to happen, someone's dying, give them a call to verify it. You will do them a favor and yourself a favor. So phishing emails, and it's not just individuals and personal lives, it's businesses. This is the time of year where mass corporations are affected by phishing emails. So try to be safe out there. As we discussed, if we get an email from a friend who might have had their account compromised, we want to recommend that they change their password. we want to talk about next for the next few minutes strong passwords. After conferring with Justin, a partner technician of mine over at ACT Computers, we've decided that pass phrases with secure numbers and symbols are the easiest to remember, as well as the most effective for dealing with brute force attacks that may be used against these passwords. For an example, in the office, we often talk about horse staple paper 72. And that is just a generic recommended phrase that someone could come up with a way of remembering. So when you're coming up with your passwords, try to make them a phrase that you'll remember. I love my husband, and then the year, something that you will remember. Maybe part of your vow. The next part of this Christmas season is online shopping. I mean, I love getting gifts from Amazon and from all other kinds of retailers, but sometimes there's things like Wish and Temu and other online providers that might have questionable repute. While there's no for sure way to say whether this one is good and this one is bad, we do have a clear indicator when you're visiting their website. So when you visit their website and you see the web address there and all their items, there'll be a lock in the top left corner, right by the HTTP. And if that lock is broken and has a red slash against it, don't do any kind of shopping. Don't send them your name, any kind of information. So it's important to make sure that you're shopping and browsing on secure websites. An easy example for you to check is just to go to google.com, and you'll see right up there on the top the lock. And that tells you that is a secure site, and any kind of transmissions between your computer and the site are going to be encrypted and trustworthy. If you have any questions about these things, we'll be open all of December. Give us a call of 772-567-7888. I'm there Saturdays as well if it's more convenient for you. And then the next thing we want to talk about is, along with online purchases, a lot of parents and even grandparents are buying presents for their grandkids and nieces and nephews and their computers and technology-oriented things. What may appear to be a great value for $250 off the gate or in the entry might actually be a detriment to the children nowadays. Now, my generation would have been grateful with any kind of laptop, working, non-working. It would have been great. We would have had a chance to take it apart, to rebuild it, to use it for school. However, this new generation has tablets, and oftentimes their schools provide laptops. So when you, as their grandparent or uncle and aunt, are out at a Circuit City or a Best Buy, and you see a computer that would be great for them, stop and check yourself to see, do they already have these things? And would this actually be an upgrade? Schools provide great computers oftentimes, and the deals we see in stores are often on lower end or Chromebook style computers, things that would be great for a tablet, but not functional for their studies or any kind of schoolwork. However, with this being said, when you're shopping for someone who is, let's say, under 10, those Chromebooks will be awesome. They'll be able to go on YouTube, play the Roblox with their friends. So that generation, under 10, $200 or $250 for a budget for a computer is a great deal. When you're shopping for around 12 to 14, you do have to consider the length of this. This device might last 5, 6, 7 years into when they're leaving school. So the more you invest into it up front, the more of a benefit they'll get from the entire experience. So when you're looking at someone who's anywhere from 10 to 14 to 16, it's advisable to spend somewhere between $650 and $800 to $900 in the computer, especially if the child's interests are in gaming or AutoCAD or things that might be resource intensive with the computers. Additionally, do they need a laptop or a desktop? Do they want a laptop or a desktop? Many of our customers prefer laptops for their portability. They can take them to work, or they can take them home, anywhere they need to go. But kids often, gamers, don't necessarily need that portability. It is great if you have a limited size and you need that smaller form factor in order to accomplish those things for gaming and things like that. But If you're putting the money out there anyway, you should invest in a desktop, at least for that older generation. And then for that younger generation, stick with a tablet or Chromebook. They might break it in the next couple of years, so you want to make sure that um, they're going to be satisfied with it, but your wallet's not going to be hurting. And then the same thing with the older generation, the 10 to 14 to 16, that desktop stays in one place, doesn't go anywhere. Unless they get mad and throw something at their monitor, the likelihood for this desktop to break or be damaged is minimal compared to a laptop that's constantly open, that you carry with you, that you drop. The cord goes in and out. There's the more moving components to it, the lower the less the life of the device. So when you're shopping these holidays, go for those gaming computers, $600 to $900 desktops. That's where the deal will be. If you're looking for a laptop, just be aware of the risks of it breaking and the long-term expense of the battery, the screen, and other components that could wear out on it. As I said, desktop versus laptop, the importance of understanding the gaming needs. We have gaming consultations for parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles down at ACT Computers. We have a gentleman in store named Michael Barrett, who is a professional gaming computer designer. So if you have any questions about specs or want any advice, you can give us a call. Again, 772-567-7888, and he'll be glad to sit down, schedule an appointment with you, and figure out what your needs are as well as your budget. We have you covered. So transitioning from gaming, and initially we had talked about seniors and people who are of the wiser generation. What do you know about gaming for seniors? I worked on a young lady's computer yesterday who was of the wiser generation, and she teaches bridge, and that is her profession. She does it as a passion and a hobby, and her mind stays sharp playing these games as an older individual. So, while as an older person, if you're watching this, you might not be interested in shooters and these new 3D modern games, Mahjong, Solitaire. I was just playing Minesweeper on my phone before I came in. These games on the computer can help stimulate your mind, and that there's also websites out there specifically for the wiser generation to keep them going. And if you have any questions about how to get started with that, I'm here for you. Give me a call. Like I said, there's a lot of types of games. The Mahjong, the card games, the chess and checkers. But the cool thing too is Facebook, which a lot of seniors and the people of the wiser generation are used to using, includes these games. They have a game room that boosts the social interaction, that boosts the happiness. Yesterday I was over at a senior retirement village, and the people, it is a giant hotel, and people aren't able to walk as much, and to have the ability to game with their people that they live with, that they eat dinner with, as well as their friends and family across the country, it really brings a second life into their time, their experience. So getting started with that, we can definitely get you taken care of with some of the easier games. Microsoft has a lot of them built in, and we're open 9:30 to 6 every day, and 9:30 to 4 on Saturdays. So we try to be here and available for you. So I'm done lecturing. The last thing we're going to talk about today is just a little bit of basic computer maintenance. Stuff that you can take care of on your own, and if you need more advanced help, you can bring in and see us. Your computer by itself will generally run okay. It's not very often that you need to do a cleaning. I tell my professional clients once every 6 months that we need to do a scan with their antivirus. We need to do their Windows updates. We need to see if we can clear out any junk files from their computer, and then just do a general scan for any differences. Additionally, we want to do a system restore point. A lot of that stuff we handle in the shop. What can you do? So there are great programs out there such as Malwarebytes, and they have a free version, or Avast, which we have a nice paid version here at the office. It's $59 a year. However, it will run those scans automatically and perform the maintenance. In addition to that, we recommend going to Windows, Settings, Updates, and making sure you're up to date on a regular basis. As I've said a couple times, if you have any questions about these things, myself, Cameron, or Jeff, or Preston, or any one of our other 7 professionals down at the office would be glad to walk you through and get you on a regular schedule for these things. So, if you have any questions in the meantime, call us, send us an email. Our email is info@actcomp.us. It'll be in the description down below. And we'd love to come have you at our shop. We're off of US 1 right here in Vero Beach. And thank you very much for your time. I'll see you guys again next week, and we'll get this show going even better than it is now. Thank you, guys.